Virginia team.
Showing some of that intestinal fortitude that Jay Gilbert had for this team when they won the championship. Nick Russo emotional in his leadership. Rotelli now back with the ball. Definitely a focal point. Billy St. George came out with him on the long stick that time. Syracuse playing tough defense. Rotelli fakes inside, but St. George is there and makes the check. Different matchup on Rotelli. They put St. George down on the long pole.
Well played by St. George, but Bliss is going to be nailed for a push. St. George has made 2 terrific plays, one on a loose ball, and there is big Solomon Bliss.
Sol Bliss against Christmas. Big move to the pipe. Rotelli takes it up top and Shannon on the far side.
You can see how Bliss is giving him a bigger cushion anytime Christmas gets the ball. He's not stepping out and overplaying it.
Slide came early and Shannon finally found an open man, Rotelli. Billy Gladding brings the ball in. Nick Schmitz, number 4, playing defense on him. Walther route. Brett Walther gives up the defensive responsibility to Wright. Pfeiffer picks it right out of the air. Nicely done on Billy Gladding.
Confident save by the left-hander Pfeiffer.
Big-time offensive shots. Tillman Johnson getting offense in his face.
Creative pattern by Springer and Powell on what appeared to be no fast break. All of a sudden it was. You see the ball being carried into the zone. It's kicked up top to Springer. And watch Powell sneak underneath right there. Right to space. Lifts it. Top shelf. Doesn't get any prettier than that. Sneaks back door. There he is, Mike Powell. Brilliant move without the ball. Most of lacrosse offensively is played without the ball.
Springer gets 2 assists on the day so far. Powell, his second goal. And creativity is what he's all about. Slides inside, really threw the defensive man off and didn't give Tillman Johnson a chance to set up on that play. Virginia still leads 4-3, 11:35 left.
It happened so fast. Most players will step to the outside there and catch that right-handed. Powell just planted with his outside foot. Boom, cut to the middle of the field. He was open, and then the finish. No way Tillman Johnson was going to make that save when he dropped his stick low and popped it up high.
Take a look at speed in sports. We talk about the shot speed. Quint, let's talk about speed in different sports as it relates to lacrosse.
Randy Johnson with the 97-mile-per-hour fastball. Al McGinnis with the slap shot, over 100. And then Andrew Roddick, last year so impressive in the U.S. Open, 142-mile-an-hour serve. In lacrosse, we're getting up to nearly 100 miles an hour. Earlier today, Doniger pinged one at 94 miles an hour. Powell in the 90s range with accuracy as well.
If you're in a shooting contest, you'll break that 100-mile-an-hour mark. You'll hit 100, 102 on the run in game conditions. You're in the 90s.
We've got our jugs guys here. There they are, parked behind the cage. Surprised you're not wearing a helmet or a chest protector. That is not conducive to a long life, standing behind a lacrosse goal with a jugs gun.
And it's not easy to get a good read on these shots either, because they don't come from the same angle at all times. Virginia 4-3. They get off to that 3-0 lead. So 3 of the last 4 goals scored by Syracuse. Michael Powell with the trademark identification, the eye black, giving him that distinctive look. They get set to go back at it. Michael Powell, sophomore attackman, really the heart and soul, the emotional leader of the offensive Syracuse.
First team All-American last year as a freshman. That has only been done a number of times. The latest back in the mid-'80s, Del Dressel, a midfielder for Johns Hopkins. Potentially Mike Powell, a 4-time first team All-American.
Christmas against Sol Bliss. Christmas got a little bit of an edge there, took the shot. Pfeiffer just swept it to the side. Push call against Virginia. Going to that loose ball, it'll go to Syracuse.
Gill was angling for inside leverage, and Glatzel Just nailed him on the back of his shoulder.
Pfeiffer throws it away. This could be trouble. He has to get back in the goal. It won't be any fast break, but he's thrown away in a possession. Bad mistake, Quint. Close game, semifinal in the championship series, and you just throw it away.
And now you've got some offensive midfielders for Syracuse stuck on the field playing defense. Guys who aren't really in their comfort zone guarding this Virginia attack.
Syracuse has taken the shot lead 16-15, but Virginia has had the ball for the last minute and a half. Pfeiffer back between the pipes.
Syracuse playing a zone behind the man defending the ball. You see the white jerseys in front, kind of in a zone formation.
Nick Russo gets it over to Moeller. These two midfielders have logged a lot of miles for Dom Starsia, but have come up on the offensive end this year more times than they ever have. Moeller, number 23, and Nick Russo, 27.
They log an awful lot of miles.
Virginia one-on-one behind. Christmas comes around and beats Pfeiffer with a bounce shot. They're going to give it to him, yes. Christmas, with his blinding speed and quickness, just comes around, beating everybody who tries to make a defensive check to give the Wahoos a 2-goal lead.
3 years ago, I heard rumblings out of Pennsylvania that there was a player there who had potential to be one of the greatest in the sport's history, and it was that man right there, Johnny Christmas. Dom Starsia located him early, got him in the Virginia pipeline through his camps. The recruiting wars never really existed. Christmas has come to Virginia, and he's been an immediate impact on the landscape of college lacrosse.
This team was confused last year on where to put their key players. Didn't have enough firepower on offense. I'm talking about Virginia. They bring in Christmas, they bring in Yavoli, 2 freshmen, and they have just totally changed the team around. With Gill as the leader and the just blinding athletic ability of Christmas and Yavoli, this team is as good as anybody in the game.
Come on, Saul.
South Bliss trying to stay with Christmas. Double team, triple team, ball still in his stick. Rotelli. Christmas went through 4 different defensive checks. A.J. Shannon working on the far side.
This is Yavoli's not really a ball carrier. He'll usually give that up.
Christmas gets it from Yavoli and puts it onto the arm pad of Pfeiffer. They snuck that one in there. Yavoli has shown the ability not only to finish, but to find the open man like he did last week for the winning goal in the quarterfinal game. Chris Rotelli. Working in for the left-handed shot, just goes wide of the pipe. Nice, long possession for Virginia.
Multiple shot possessions, one of the things you look for. And that's not a bad shot. You'd rather shoot for the far post.
Johnny Desko taking it all in. He was an All-American player at Syracuse, picked up the reins from Roy Simmons Jr. This is his 4th year. Yavoli. Switch comes, it gives the ball up. Virginia to Rotelli this time. All their shooters are out there. A.J. Shannon. Gliding on the far side. Yavoli didn't quite cleanly get it. Here comes Pfeiffer to get possession.
At this level, we take it for granted that the player's going to make those type of passes, but you forget, if you're out there and you've never picked up a lacrosse stick, it's actually not that easy. And so a 12-yard pass like that, we take for granted, but oftentimes you see the guys just misconnect.
And Quentin, you've been in this atmosphere as a player. There's just no other atmosphere like this to prepare yourself, unless you're Syracuse, where your players have been here 3 times in 3 years. It's tough to get set to play in front of 25, 30,000 people. It doesn't happen every week. Brian E, number 5 on the field. This is Michael Powell.
Virginia in the zone here. Or a real packed-in man-to-man, I can't tell. Right now, every Virginia defender is within about a 10-yard radius of the cage.
Springer.
It is a zone. First time Virginia's shown zone.
That's something you thought they might do with the loss of Kuntz.
And that's what they are hoping that Tillman Johnson can make the outside perimeter saves and a couple from the inside. That time, I believe it was Spencer Wright from about 8 yards.
Spencer Wright found a little seam inside. He gets it, turns right away and shoots. Put it at the feet of Tillman Johnson. Rotelli, no, that time it was Moeller from the outside. Now Syracuse likes this speed a little more. Let's see if they take it to the cooker. I'll tell you what, 5 years ago, in a transition like this, they would always go to the shot. Now, more times than not, Syracuse will pull it back, go for the quality possession, giving up that first strike offense. Michael Powell looking to feed up top. Kaufman will take his time.
Virginia back to man-to-man. They're going to ask the Syracuse offense to make some adjustments on the fly by switching defenses.
This is Brian Nee from Soliday. Powell sees a little bit of a seam, back to knee. He's got a big shot and goes just a little bit wide. He's about as good a left-handed shooter as you'll find in Division I.
Time and room shooter. Terrific velocity. That time he mixes it up. The book on knees, he dropped his stick low and pulls the ball high. That time he dropped it low and kept it low. Johnson didn't fall for it, but he just missed that far post.
Ryan Nee made his trademark, or his mark on the game last year on the extra man, almost exclusively. This year getting a lot more playing time in the regular rotation.
Virginia back in their zone D now, packing it in.
Ryan Nee far side. Kaufman wheeling inside. Great change of direction. Up top, Ryan Nee couldn't pull it down. Was looking for the big shot and didn't pull the ball down.
2 straight possessions. The zone for Virginia has been effective. They're going to sacrifice some time of possession, but you got a hot goalie. You got a Syracuse team that does not appear comfortable yet attacking that zone. Stick with that strategy. Last week in the quarterfinals against Cornell, they showed zone maybe 3 times during the course of the game. Game definitely slowed down to a more pedestrian pace.
And I think Virginia did what they wanted to do, which was come out strong, get on top, and then really control what's going on. They've got the matchups they want. Pfeiffer going high to pull that one down.
A force by Christmas, one of the first poor decisions he's made all day. Just trying to do a little too much in that possession.
He seems to get by almost anybody whose arm initially quit. Great shot inside as they come down and push the offense. Walther comes down with that shot. Brett Walther.
Ned Bowen snaking his way out of trouble there on the clear. Syracuse is tough to clear against, because Powell, Kaufman, and Springer are such hustlers, so physical and such athletic players. They don't let you out of your zone without a couple whacks in the arms.
5 minutes to go in the game. 8 goals scored. 5-3. Virginia leads by 2. They've led throughout. Nice location on that shot by Moeller, but Pfeiffer picked it up. Moeller riding hard, ball on the ground. Picked up by Syracuse. Hardy looking into the inside. Syracuse will pull it back now. Setting up as they put fresh legs on. The offensive players come back onto the field. Down by 2. The closest they've gotten was 3-2 and then a 4-3 score, but Virginia has led throughout this game. Kaufman. Strong and powerful. Here comes the slide. Gets rid of it right away once he recognized the slide. Inside. A lot of room for that shot. Virginia made a mistake as they gave a little bit too much room. Chris Rotelli started coming off his man, and Syracuse recognized it right away.
I believe they were packed into their zone defense, and this was just communication breakdown if you're Virginia. Tillman Johnson hung out to dry. Nothing he could do about that. He needs to shake that one off. But the nifty passing out front, you can see the man inside wide open, just catches it, turns. The assignment was missed. It was Valone, the sophomore from Corning, New York. Just some poor communication defensively right there.
5-4, back to within 1. Swapping goals. And a Virginia player down as you get a timeout called by the Virginia sideline. 4 minutes left. The Cavaliers playing tough. Nick Russo getting off the carpet, off the natural grass surface here at Rutgers Stadium. We want to remind you that tomorrow live, the Indianapolis 500 on ABC Sports. See why they call it the greatest spectacle in all of racing. 33 of the best drivers in the world for 500 miles on the legendary oval at the Brickyard. Tomorrow morning, live at 11 Eastern Standard Time on ABC. Well, this had a surprise start as we look at Virginia on the sideline. They came out and scored 3 goals in less than 2 minutes and have never been behind since. 5-4 is where we stand. Not a comfort level by any stretch of the imagination, but Dom Starsia has to feel good that his team, with maybe not as much depth, has really taken it to Syracuse.
The game plan seems to have de-emphasized Connor Gill's presence in their offense.
Or almost acquiescing to say, well, Glatzel is going to take him out of the game,
right.
so we'll take Glatzel out of the game.
Exactly. So either bringing him to the crease. Really, Gill has not been a part of the Virginia offense, and that's worked fine. When guys like Christmas can penetrate with the success they're having, they're going to be in good shape. Christmas and Rotelli, to me, get everything going. And they throw in A.J. Shannon once in a while. They're okay not attacking with Gill.
Again, the second part of that, Quint, if you would agree, is that he has to keep Glatzel away from the slide packages. If Connor Gill can occupy him, he's got to keep him away from what he can do to help other people.
Or, better than that, make Glatzel the slide guy, so Glatzel has to leave Gill. The book on Glatzel is that he's not very good off the ball. He doesn't make good decisions as far as the team defense.
Could be a factor in the game with Virginia ahead. Virginia controlling the ball. This is Connor Gill against Glatzel. We haven't seen too many of these one-on-ones. Gets the double team, St. George. Wheels back for the right-handed shot, and Connor Gill puts in goal number 6. A tremendous move with almost no angle. Gill, one-on-one with Glatzel.
Gill takes him up left-handed. This is what we call a question mark dodge, because it looks like a question mark. See him come up, circle around, and then score to the far side. You'll see the move is come up, around like that. That looks like a question mark. Here it is. He turns for the right hand, shoots far side. Perfect accuracy. Not bad defense by Glatzel, but score a big goal right there for Connor Gill. Emotionally, that's got to give him some confidence in that matchup.
Face-offs, Virginia 5, Syracuse 4 at this point in the game. And look at UVA bringing that ball down. Great check out top. Glatzel really laying on the lumber, but Gill picks it up. Gill's got St. George on him at this moment, and now Glatzel there to back up.
Virginia's face-off unit, they run all 3 players, they take the face-off, and then all 3 players have to run out of the game. So that leaves them vulnerable to some quick double teams right off the face-off. The delay in that offense was that Gill was waiting for 3 substituting players.
Ball behind the net right now as they try to get some control.
Back right! Back right! Who's going?
This is number 4, Jarrett Little, the freshman.
Back left!
Syracuse in their zone defense now.
Bowley puts it right into the stick of Pfeiffer.
Who would have ever guessed that the 2 most athletic programs in Division I lacrosse, Syracuse and Virginia, will be forced to play zone defenses because they can't match up man for man?
And elect to hold the ball for so much possession time. That's what it's boiled down to after the fast start. A lot of time left, though, with the 2:19 in this half. 2 goals lead. John Desko not worried. Plenty of time left in this semifinal. Desko, in his 4th year, has been to the finals each of the first 3 he's taken over from Roy Simmons Jr.
He has really tailored the offense to beat the Princeton style of defense with the double and triple teams. They attack so efficiently in the 6-on-6 set with multiple passes. And of course, when you throw in talent like Powell and Kaufman, guys who can make their own shot, success is nearly guaranteed.
Talk about 1979 and where Desko and Donahue, they're both the coaches. They were co-captains on the 1979 team. John Desko and Kevin Donahue on different ends of the field. Desko on the defense, Donahue on the offense, and they've been together a long time.
That is when the Syracuse program really started ramping up. Roy Simmons Jr. in the early 80s, the Carrier Dome was built. They won their first national title, 1983, right here on this Rutgers field in one of the greatest championship games ever, overcoming a 5 or 6 goal deficit to Johns Hopkins. And from there, it's been all Syracuse.
John Desko hoping to have a chance to play in the finals for the 4th straight year, as we've mentioned, against the Princeton Tigers, who wait for the winner of this game. Teams are at even strength. Syracuse inbounds. It looks like
Zone for
still
Virginia.
a zone for Virginia. They've got 4 poles in the game, 3 across the bottom and 1 long stick up top. Inside to Springer. He was parked just inside of Brendan Moeller. And they waited to the right moment. He just redirected in about a half a second.
Wow, he just tucks that over the shoulder of Tillman Johnson. Springer, the stealth bomber, but that was a touch shot. Here he is, number 10. Finds the seam, catch, release, over the shoulder of Tillman Johnson. Powell puts it right where Springer can one-touch it. The defense is there, but you've got to take some arms. Check hard inside. They do not. Springer, nice target inside. It's almost like a center in basketball, the way he can shield off those defenders.
He's got 1 goal and 1 assist, Springer does on the day. Game back within 1 goal. Virginia still leads. They've led every minute, every second of this game. Connor Gill gets control of that face-off. He's pushed around for a little while, and now they're in 2 minutes. Let's see. Oh, they get inside to Uvalde, and Pfeiffer makes the save of the game. Uvalde had it 4 feet in front of Pfeiffer and shot as if he was a right-hander. Put it right into the left-hander stick.
Jay Pfeiffer quietly has silenced any doubters. There he is. He's got 10 saves.
Back on the other end, Kaufman gets the ball. That save so critical. Let's see if we can mark that as one of the biggest plays in the game. And timeout called by Syracuse. Things are getting a little raggy. A minute to go. He wants to get the final shot. Pfeiffer coming up huge. Instead of 7-5, Syracuse is still within 1, and they have possession off his incredible save. We talked about 10 on the day.
Those are so big because they're so deflating. Look at Uvalde, the catch and the pass, and he just hit the lefty Pfeiffer. Un-Uvalde-like in that he hit him right in the stick. I've seen Uvalde 5 times this year, and most of the time the ball is shot to such a perfect location. He's got to know that Pfeiffer's a lefty there.
Quint, that's a great shot against a right-hander.
Yeah, against
so
a
when you catch it, he just forgot that he's shooting against the left-hander, put it right in his stick head.
But what about the catch?
Tremendous extension to get it. There's Jay Pfeiffer, laid back. Steve Seifert talked about his laid-back style. Looks like he could have been on my team way back when. A little bit of a 70s look to him.
You see the multiple huddles. Syracuse divides theirs into offense and defense.
Desko with a chance to tie this game, and he should feel good about it if he can pull that off, Quint. Virginia's done a great job of controlling a lot of this first half, yet they only lead by 1. Tillman's had some huge saves. Tillman Johnson in the goal. John Desko looking on, hoping this play that he called. What do you think they're going to go with here?
Well, Virginia comes out in a man-to-man right now. They may switch, but the zone the last 2 times down has not been effective. Valone, his goal from Hardy, and Springer from Powell. Inside, they're not getting into a nice play.
Springer finishes again from the same spot. This time they bring it up. Kaufman comes from behind, hits Springer. It's a tie game with 55 seconds left.
Choreographed to perfection by the Syracuse coaching staff. They kick the ball behind, and Springer is wide open as you could ever imagine. Puts it behind his shoulder. Sensational play, the little pick play. It's a high pick inside. You can see Virginia's late in getting there. They don't communicate. You've got to switch in that situation inside, much like basketball.
Game tied at 6. It's the first tie of the game. Springer, pretty big day he's working on. 2 goals and 2 assists. Virginia with possession, and I think they called a timeout. Let's see. No.
Syracuse
left
out of that offensive zone too early. As you said in game number 1, on a face-off, those players are not allowed to release until possession.
The offensive and the defensive players that play them. That's 3 offensive guys, 3 defensive players on either end of the field stay behind that restraining line until possession. Virginia, plenty of time to get that lead back before halftime. They go back to the matchup. Christmas against Saul Bliss.
Hey, coming back.
33 against 33.
Get up, son, get up. Turn him, turn him.
Christmas change direction once, twice, 3 times. Bliss locking up on him. And checks the ball down.
Well done by Bliss. Oh, he got hammered on the ankle.
Saul Bliss could be hurt.
Tell you, Christmas, his energy level seems to be fading a little as Bliss seems to be getting stronger and stronger on those one-on-one situations. That time, Bliss played it to perfection. Here it is, the cross-handed hold right there, shoves him out with his forearm, makes the check. Now, somewhere along the line here, Bliss hurts his foot. Let's see if it's a check. Maybe he just twisted it, but terrific effort by Bliss right there. Wins the battle with the speedy John Christmas.
I think it was the tail end of that. We may not have even seen the injury part, but he is not walking well. So this is a blow to them. Bliss finally getting comfortable with the matchup, and he comes off the field.
Don Vidosh comes in, and let me tell you, Syracuse has huge matchup problems with John Christmas. If Saul Bliss is not in the game, they may have to go predominantly to a zone.
Vidosh, a freshman, redshirt freshman, out of Brother Rice in Michigan.
6'2", 205. But from a speed standpoint.
32nd foul, number 33 of Virginia.
So the penalty was called. It'll be an extra man for Syracuse when they start the third quarter because Michael Powell kept the ball in his stick. The penalty will carry over. There'll be no face-off in the third quarter. When we start the second half, it'll be a tie game. It'll be the ball in the possession of Syracuse with them having 6 players against 5.
Rough start for the Orange. Virginia getting out to a great lead. But then gradually in that second quarter, Syracuse started to take over. Mike Springer right now, the hero for Syracuse, getting high percentage shots against that Virginia defense. And it was just a matter of time before Tillman Johnson was going to surrender some goals.
Steve Cyphers down below with John Desko.
Coach, what kind of panic was there throughout the team when you fell behind 3 quick ones?
Well, you know, you don't panic in these kinds of games. If you do, you're going to be in trouble. We need to keep working. I thought we did a good job of controlling the ball later in the first quarter, and didn't generate as many good shots as we wanted to. We're just going to try to control the ball a little bit better in the third quarter.
Last thing just happened. Solomon Bliss appears to be injured. Who do you have to mark Christmas in the event he can't stay with him in the second half?
Well, we may have to make some changes there. We got Don Vidosh, who's been our 4th defenseman and doing a nice job all year. We could bump Billy over, but we'll see. We're going to see how Sal's doing right now.
Terrific. Coach, thanks. Back to you, Lee.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's been an interesting first half, Quint. Virginia off with an electrifying start. They were a 3-0 leader before Syracuse came back. Big shots on both ends and big saves to match. Second half coming up.
Tonight on ESPN at 7, the Eastern Conference Finals continue with the Maple Leafs taking on the Hurricanes in Game 5, followed by baseball tonight. Then catch SportsCenter at 11. On the Deuce at 7:30, the Women's College World Series, followed by ESPN News. Then at 10, the Women's College World Series continues. On ESPN Classic at 7, the Penguins even the series against the Capitals in '94, followed by a classic Dale Earnhardt race. And catch ESPN News anytime for scores and updates.
Growing up, all we wanted to do was play. But as the world opened up to us, it became easier to get sidetracked. And just one single bet, one simple step can blow not only your education, but a chance to compete in the sport that we love.
They watch from the stands while their money changes hands.
The only thing worth betting on is ourselves.
Don't cross that line.
Sometimes the hardest thing to do at Sonny's is making up your mind.
Barbecue ribs. I've got a craving for ribs. Or is today a sliced pork day? Sounds good. Maybe the chicken, Sonny's barbecue chicken. But barbecue beef would hit this spot.
Sounds like you're ready for Sonny's Super Combo. Beef, pork, chicken, and ribs piled high with all the fixings.
Sonny's Super Combo. Now that's a super idea.
Come on home to Sonny's.
Jim Ellis Volkswagen of Marietta, next to Dobbins Air Force Base, is now jam-packed with savings. Check out the 2002 New Beetle GL or 2002 Golf GL.